Hello, hello, welcome in. You are on the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. Welcome aboard. Hello, Robin. Good to see you this morning. I have to say, I'm getting farther and farther away from the time I would like to be waking up, and I think it's cyclical. I think it's cyclical. I hope that this Friday morning's treating you well, Robin. I find that my excitement and my passion ebb and flow. They come and go, and they're directly tied uh, to how much I want to get up in the morning. And somehow that, how much I care about getting out of bed, like bleeds into my subconscious when I'm trying to wake up or rolling over. And I've been doing a lot of rolling over, but I bet you money, give it 3 or 4 days and I'll be on the other side of that. Starting to log these things and notice. And I don't know exactly what that means, but we have the information. It's written down in the journal and it's dated. So we know exactly when what's happening. I'm hoping to draw conclusions and notice patterns and hopefully, do better. Olivia, good morning. My own eyes and ears. Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Blessed to crochet. Hey there. Hello, hello. So today, I was hoping to tell a story. Something that's been on my mind a lot. Something that I haven't told on the boat before. A little piece that you guys haven't gotten yet. Robin says, we're going on the first vacation in 5 years. I'll be listening from a warm beach next week. Heck yeah, I can't wait. That's awesome. I think that's trophy worthy. We deserve vacations. We deserve to treat ourselves. We work so hard. Long time no see, other restrained. Good to see you, man. How are you? How have things been? It has been quite some time. Kristen Melinda, hello, hello. Hey there. Hey there. I'm still kind of asleep. Working on this coffee. But yeah, I want to tell a story today. I hope you guys are all right with that. You guys okay with if I tell you a story? Story of young Spanx Calhoun. The story I have in mind involves Tony and my period of time being homeless in Fort Collins, Colorado, directly following high school. Yeah, it's been on my mind, a lot lately. Other restraint says, doing better. That's all you can really hope for. I tell you what, man. I tell you what. And it's not always, things aren't always going to get better. Sometimes they got to get worse before they get better. So I'm glad you're doing better. I tell you what. Pam Pawar, hello, hello. Laura May, Olivia, good to see you guys. Well, so 2010, I graduated high school by the skin of my teeth. And I was homeless after that. I met a guy in the homeless shelter out there in Illinois who was my age. He was the only person there that was my age. And we made fast friends and got on a Greyhound bus later that winter and went to Colorado. Now, when we were in Colorado, a lot happened. I spent like 2.5 years out there. There was a friend that I made. Probably shouldn't say his name, huh? We'll call him Dusty. I don't think he would like that. We're going to call him Dusty, though, because that's not his name. But I made a friend. His name's Dusty, right? Hey, Nicola, what's going on? And in Fort Collins, there's like a downtown square area, and that's where all the hoodlums would meet up and, get together and do things. And I'm pretty sure I met this individual at the square. And the reason that this is important is because later on in my homeless journey out there, I would end up living with this man. And he lived with his mom. He's a little bit younger than me. I think that when we met, he had just graduated. So like maybe we were like a year apart or something like that. I'm having a hard time remembering that detail. I don't think that's important, but he lived with his mom. And later on in my homeless time out there, not having a place to live, he would let me bunk up in his house, which was something that I dearly needed. Was a friend and a place. And I have to say, without Dusty, I don't think that I would be here right now. Without Dusty, I don't think that and I don't know if I would be like in like incarcerated or alive or like you know what I mean. There's no telling what could have happened without this man. So I just want to give this guy a shout out. And I have to say, I was thinking about this the other day. Um, people that have lifted me up when I couldn't lift myself up, I want to give back, I want to lift them up. I would like to return the favor. And I know it's not transactional, right? It's not like 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's not how it works, right? But I recently reached out to this individual and they're not doing too hot and I have nothing to offer to help. And that didn't, it's not like I need to be able to help, right? It's not like a need or anything, but it just really bummed me out. I was like, wow, this would have been a really cool opportunity to be able to reciprocate what you did for me all those years ago that I have not forgotten. Dusty's the brother of my good friend Tony, and I met Dusty before I met Tony. Actually, I had known Dusty like a year and a half, something like that, by the time I met his brother. Um, so we like both Dusty and I and Tony and I forged a friendship in isolation from each other. In fact, they weren't very close when Tony was alive. Um, but I was really good friends with both of them. I remember one time in particular, I was staying at Dusty's, and I don't know if it was my diet or if I was dehydrated or what was going on, but I got some constipation going on that was so bad that I thought I was going to die. I was in so much pain and I didn't know what it was. Like I couldn't pass whatever it was. And it just hurt in my abdomen so bad. I was like rolling around, hugging my knees, moaning, screaming. It was bad. It was really bad. So I went to the ER, but he allowed me to do that in his house, which I thought was pretty crazy. I'm in there dying in his house and he's just like caring for me. Um, Turns out it was just fine. But I've been remembering Dusty a lot lately. And I've been remembering Tony a lot lately. When I dated Roxanne, my first love, her apartment was in the same complex as Dusty and his mom. And later when Tony came back to live at home. It was just interesting stuff, man. Really interesting stuff. Memory lane is a treacherous, it's a slippery slope. What's going on, Dale? Good to see you, man. Boho, hello, hello. Kim, Millie, Roberta. What's going on, guys? Pepper Beast says, hey, that's awesome. It was really cool to meet him the other day. We did a little bit of tank, nothing special. Well, I don't know about nothing special. Nothing too crazy. What's going on, Kim? Hey there. Was I on opioids then? Definitely caused constipation. No, I've never really been on opioids. Like I've done like Oxycontin a little bit. That was after this. Um, I wonder what I was using though. Let's think about it. This is a good question. What was I intaking? I was definitely smoking a lot of weed, and I probably, you know what, Boho, you're probably right. I think I was probably doing Percocets. Now that I think about it, me and Alex were probably doing a ton of Percocets. I feel like that sounds really familiar. Which I don't know if they're like an opiate, but they're similar enough. I tell you what. What's going on, JCC? I didn't intend to take anybody from Casper's stream. I just wanted to pop in and say hello to you guys. I probably should have done that in the reverse order, huh? I don't ever want them to feel like I'm poaching or anything like that. Shout out to Casper and my dad. You guys are awesome. I'm glad you brought that up, Boho. I didn't even consider that. I bet you 100% it was due to the to my drug intake. Well, I mean, also, when you're homeless, most of your meals, well, when I was homeless, most of my meals came from the shelter. Um, so, and I have to say, the shelter food was definitely better than jail food. I don't think that, I don't think it was caused by like a poor diet based on that. But as far as like hydration goes, that could definitely have been a contributor because I was on foot everywhere I went. And in order to do the things that I needed to do to like be happy and survive homeless, I had to do a lot of walking. I had to be a lot of places in one day. So, I was probably mad dehydrated too, but the Percocets definitely didn't help. It's very interesting. I'd forgotten about that entirely. That period of time is a blur. When I first arrived in Fort Collins, that first couple weeks is it in my memory, it looks like a lucid dream. I don't know if you're a lucid dreamer. When I lucid dream, I, my point of view has like it's like blurry around the edges. I don't know how to describe it, but I can tell if I notice it's a lucid dream, I'll check. Like, oh well, my perspective is kind of foggy. Okay, I'm definitely dreaming. My first 2 weeks in Fort Collins, that's how I remember them. The whole thing was like a walking dream. I was so stoned. They had legal pot, and in Illinois, the best pot you can get is laced. If you try hard enough to get good pot, you'll get some really bad pot. So I definitely was off the wagon, so to speak, in that regard. But it was a very interesting time. I bet you there's a ton of stuff I don't really remember, and honestly, maybe I don't care to. That part of my life was not anything to write home about. It's not something you would want to tell your in-laws about. Lilac Lime says I live in Loveland, Colorado, just south of Fort Collins. I what did I call her? Roxanne. Roxanne. After leaving that spot in Fort Collins, where we lived together for a little while, she moved to Loveland and then went home to Estes Park. Beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful person. I love Colorado so much. I tell you what, I miss Loveland, I miss Fort Collins, I miss Estes Park, I miss romping around with my friends out there. But I've been back a couple times. Lucy and I went on a road trip, and we stopped through there, and I showed her all the spots, and it was actually one of the best road trips of all time. I love that road trip. But Fort Collins brings back like such terrible memories and feelings in me. It feels like I'm backtracking just by setting foot in the city. And I know that's in my head, right? I know that's just in my head, but um, yeah, I still have some stuff to work through for sure regarding all that. Tara, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. It means a whole lot. I tell you what. Aloha, what's going on? Spanx, I'm working on a YouTube channel. It's going to be called Father and Daughter Eat Peppers. Dude, sweet. Yeah, hit me with the link when you get it going, man. I'll be your first subscriber, bro. I'm all in. That's awesome. I'm going to actually have to get some peppers so that I can participate. This tincture's great. I love tincture, but, I want to eat some real peppers. I think there's something to that. Millie says that sounds like Yorkshire for me. I was high the entire time I was there. It's tough to go back. Yeah, man. And it's terrible because it's a wonderful place. I still have like a lot of love out there. I spoke with Dusty the other day, like I was saying, and he's not doing too hot. And that conversation came about. Tony had a Facebook for the longest time, and I guess he must not have been able to verify his name because he's dead, because his Facebook no longer exists. I went looking for it yesterday, and I couldn't find it. And I seen Dusty was on, so I was like, "Hey, what happened with all this?" And he said, probably wasn't alive to verify. I was like, ooh, brutal. But we got to catching up. Missed that guy. I'd love to go see him. Like, what a creative this man is too. Like, you guys see me in all my creativity and my weird out of the box brain. Dusty is one of them too. He's an inspirational individual. And I wonder why people like us tend to be troubled. You know what I mean? I wonder if it's just because of all the different perspectives that we see unbidden, right? I wonder what the common denominator is, though. I feel like people that are touched or blessed or just are different and weird often have a really, really hard time being normal, making it through in the normal world. Dale says I will have 2 videos to upload: the TOT Tube of Terror, my Warthog challenge I did on the last one hot minute. Okay, sweet, dude. I'm so stoked that You've been inspired to do your own thing. That's so cool. You gotta, well, you don't have to. If you feel like it, I think it would be really cool to see how you grow. And that I know that may or may not be like trade secrets, and I'm not trying to tell you to, let go of your secrets or anything, but I think that would be a super interesting series on like a step by step. All right, this is how I did my grow this season. I think that would be like I would watch every single one and probably take notes. I'd probably have to watch the videos a couple times because I'm a little slow sometimes. Um, just an idea, just an idea. And I have a, what do they call it? A black thumb. I'm not very good with plants. Forget what cartoon that was. There was a cartoon when I was a kid where there was like a little guy. I don't know if he was like a dwarf or a gnome or just a human, but he had a green thumb and he would touch stuff and everything would grow. And the villain had a purple thumb and she would touch stuff and everything would die. It was a pretty good. It was a pretty good cartoon. I think it had dinosaurs in it too, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. Gangly armed hugs, my favorite. Boho said, I'm starting channel 2. It's about time. Coming soon to an algorithm near you. I love it. You guys should all chase your dreams. If you feel inspired to do something, do it. I'm in a position now where I'm struggling to find inspiration. And when I do, I tell you what, I take it and I run with it because it's far and few between. I was saying earlier, my passion and my excitement, my interest ebb and flow very heavily. And when they're ebbing, it's really hard to do things. It's really hard to do anything, really. Well, if you judge a fish by how high it can climb a tree, oh my, we're using the wrong criteria here, aren't we? I agree, though. It's a good point. Yeah, Cypher said it best, ignorance is bliss. And I don't think that's sustainable, right? But it is, we can stagnate in it, right? We definitely can. I would definitely rather have the eyes to see, I feel like, Tara. And it's an interesting question, right? Would you rather be ignorant and just be happy in your ignorance? Or would you rather see the truth and actually what's going on? Sometimes I see the truth and I'm like, wow, I wish I hadn't seen that. But at the same time, that's just like a momentary sentiment. I don't think that having the wool pulled over my eyes is a good position to be in, regardless. I don't think it's a position I can be proud of being in, right? I can say, like, hey, don't tell me or whatever. I'll just be happy. But at the same time, then there's something going on that may directly affect me. You know what I mean? I might just be a slave and I don't even know it. I feel like knowing is necessary for me personally. Me and my cousin were talking about this, Dale. Me and my cousin were talking about doing some challenges and whatnot. I should get back with him. I wonder what he's up to. Tara Jackson says Dragon Tales, not that one, not that one. That's a good one. I used to watch that when I was a kid. Boom. That was pretty much the story, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I guess I just wanted to share that little snippet about Iowa. I think we just hit this button on that. And maybe we'll hit this button too so I can get my music back on. I don't know who that was. Maybe they'll leave a message. The Care Bears is what I mean. For sure. Absolutely. No, there was here, I'll look it up. There was a cartoon. Green thumb, purple thumb cartoon. It's right here. A troll in Central Park. What a deep cut. Oh, I guess I could show you. Care Bears are legit though. I used to watch those as well. They did leave a message. Nice. Yeah, right here. This guy. Can we get this like full screen or what? Oh my, it's not working. Well, you get it though. That's the cover. Oh, Lindy, hello, hello. What's going on? Good to see you. Let's do some tank. I'm down. I'm gonna do this wussy one though. I shouldn't call it wussy. I mean, it's got Carolina Reapers in it, but as far as like as far as all the tinctures I have go, this is one of the least potent. Yesterday I did just a little, or not yesterday, the other day I did just a bit of this with Pepper Beast, and it gave me cramps, bro. I'm like way out of practice. I got to get back on it. In fact, I think I might just put some in the coffee so I can get that time release. It's probably the best way to build it. So we're gonna do twice as much as yesterday over a longer period of time. Looks about twice. So just for so we're all on the same page here. I just caught the look on my face. No, yours is definitely not the weakest. Yours is definitely not the weakest, Dale. In fact, um, I'm pretty sure yours is stronger than both of these. If I'm not mistaken, we'll have to do a side by side. I can't remember what the deal with this one is. I have this one and another one that I get mixed up, but one of them is front loaded. It just burns immediately and then it dies off quick. And the other one kind of creeps up on you and builds up to this absolute inferno. And I can't remember which one it is. This is one of those two. And I feel like yours is spicier than both of them, and except it doesn't do either of those things. It does both. It's like it's hot all the way through. That's my take on Dale's the first batch. I still haven't received the second batch, Dale. I probably should ask my dad about that. I keep not doing that. It's probably just sitting in his cabinet. Um, 'Cause he's got so much going on. Lynn D says, "Oh, hold on. Let's get involved here." Immediately comes out my nose. Fantastic. In the coffee, it's nice. It is a consistent burn. Um, it's a nice flavor for coffee, though. Lynn D says my PTSD has been lingering around, trying to keep my skin from crawling 1 second at a time. Sometimes it's not one day at a time. Sometimes it's moment by moment. I tell you what, let's get some ones up, folks. For anyone out there struggling, anyone out there that needs a little extra, anyone out there that needs a hug, anyone out there that could use some love. Well, that has a interesting taste on it today. Does tincture expire? Tincture can't possibly expire, right? Thinking of you, Lindy. Anxiety is part of my daily life. Nothing I can do about it unless I get rid of my family. Lol. Yeah, I can relate with that sentiment sometimes. I tell you what. Do you live with your family, Lynn? Is there where's the light? Oh, if I had a ceiling fan or a light above me, I could have sneezed right there. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh, do you like is there some sort of is there a situation that's keeping you and your family like locked in, right? Is there something stopping you from creating a little bit more space? You know what I mean? My tongue's getting all lazy from the tincture. Life is a dreaming. What's going on? Maybe my tolerance is just hitting a new note and I'm noticing new flavors. I don't know. Tastes weird today. Different. I did not, blessed. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm pretty sure it's just again in the cabinet at my dad's place. I gotta go over there. We were supposed to meet up yesterday, but some things happened. So I think that I'll be able to retrieve all of these things today. And the reason I haven't been coming on here with a topic is because I have not been feeling very good. I find it very difficult to um, I just this is going to sound so terrible. It's just I can't lie to you guys. I feel crushing apathy, and it's a weird combination of words, right? Crushing apathy. I feel like sometimes I'm a very passionate, driven individual, and then other times I feel like I just don't care about anything. I don't even care about me. And I maybe that's depression. I don't know. But when I'm on the downside of that swing, it is really, really hard for me to do things. And when I do things in that mode, they come out rotten. They come out not right. They come out half, right? They just they're not done properly. So that's my explanation for why I haven't been coming on here with a topic. And I know you guys don't necessarily need that from me, but I miss coming on here and talking about more than just BS, you know? And I guess we are talking about more than BS, right? But I just feel lesser. A shout out to Robin for telling me that I don't need to come on here with a topic. I could just come on here and hang out with you guys because I missed you, you know? And she's right. I should just be doing this every day regardless. But man, I really want to do a show on anger. I really, we should revisit boundaries. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's been swirling around in my mind that I want to talk about, but I just don't feel ready yet. And I hope, and I appreciate y'all's patience and support. It's felt, you know what I mean? It is felt. Whenever I hit this button, y'all are here. No matter how inconsistent I am, and I feel blessed and grateful for you guys. I tell you what. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure it out. Instead of Valentine's Day, it should be called Happy Slipknot Snuff Day. When is Valentine's Day? Is that today? It is today, isn't it? It's like the worst holiday of all time. I better call Takara and tell her I love her. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And you know, if you don't have a special someone today, be your own special someone. Because, you know, I can only speak for myself, but the relationship that I have with myself is something I should have forged a very, very long time ago. And I'm not done exploring that, right? I'm not done building that relationship with myself, but it's something I just started doing at the ripe age of 30 something. So if you don't have a V person, be your own V person, right? Get yourself some chocolates. I don't know. Rub your own feet. Take yourself to a movie. Maybe you just turn the TV on, put your feet up, and leave them there, right? Order out. Have someone bring you food. You know, that's my homework for y'all today. I can't believe I didn't know it was Valentine's Day. That's because it's an insignificant capitalist holiday. You know, if I had a Valentine, I probably wouldn't be saying any of this. But you know, seeing as I don't commercialize my love, tell you what. Kamari McNair says we are all here and we have each other. That's right. That's right. Thanks for showing up, by the way, everybody. Nice to meet you, Kamari. Smoking brisket for supper, dude. You know, you definitely know how to make my mouth water, bro. I tell you what. I'm gonna I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this or not. Maybe I'll just be intentionally vague. Looking at getting a place, a house, and a studio, and looking at really, really upgrading. There might be um some RV living between this and that. Um, but when we get the spot that doesn't move, I'm gonna get a smoker, Dale. I'm gonna get a smoker. We're gonna have to compare. I'll start sharing the meats I smoke on the channel, and I mean I'm sure you'll be sharing your meats too because you're passionate about it. But I can't wait to get into smoking meat, dude. I have to say, with the damage that I've done to my teeth, it is really hard to eat steak and just anything really good, anything that's absolutely delicious. It's hard for me to eat. But the smoker is going to make things so tender. I don't think that I'll have that issue. In fact, when I go eat pulled pork, it's just like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, as far as my teeth are concerned. I know that was a strange comparison, but been missing out on a lot of my favorite foods, namely meats, uh, because my teeth are so toe back. So I think the smoker would really change the game for me, dude. Heating up poutine right now, dude. I haven't had poutine in ages. In ages. I'm gonna rewind the song because these lyrics are pretty great. Oh, I went to the Flow Jam yesterday. It was pretty all right. It's like nothing to write home about, but that's not a bad thing, right? I went out there, I was social, I danced around, I met some people. Um, and after that experience and also in preparation for like trying to tell you guys about it, I've analyzed and compared and done a bunch of things that aren't really necessary and probably unfair to the situation itself. And I just think that more time needs to be spent. I don't know these people, you know what I mean? And the kicker is like I have found my people. They just live in Salt Lake City, and not all of them, right? In fact, some of the crew is abroad now. But the kicker is like in the midst of me trying to find my people, like I have people, and I know where they're at. They're just not here. So I guess in my mind, it's probably good to be clear with my intentions. That's a nice piece of furniture. Um, and my clear intention should be I'm not looking for my people. I'm looking for my people here. I'm looking for people here that are mine, right? Let's be very specific because that's important. Because it's not that I don't have my people. I'm just very far away from my people. I don't have the ability to interact with my people, right? And be social with my people, in person with my people, right? So I don't think I should be comparing this to that or here to there or them to them, right? It's not an apples to apples comparison. So I think we'll just keep doing it, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for me, right? It's not about the people that are there. It's about the song I feel in my soul, right? It's about what I do for fun. So, and the kicker caveat. The cool part is maybe I'll find some cool people that want to do these things with me, right? So, a little switch in perspective to help me succeed. Because I tell you what, I was set up for failure when I wasn't blown out of the water, but that's my own doing. I am the architect of my own misfortune most of the time. Big enough to smoke a whole cow if I wanted to, says Dale. That's the deluxe edition. Meet anyone nice? I mean, they were all pretty nice. They're all pretty nice. I will say I didn't have my staff, my like main thing, so I got less like jaw dropping stares, which is like slightly uncomfortable, but at the same time, I know they're staring at me like that when they do because their minds are blown, right? Like I know that that's a compliment in itself, but it's also a little uncomfortable. It's also a little uncomfortable. So I was happy to not get looked at that way, even though it meant that I wasn't wowing them. You know what I mean? I just had the nunchucks with me. I don't feel I should bring my little mini stabs because I suck with them, and that's what the flow is about. It's about practicing, but I want to get some. I've been thinking about commissioning my buddy Q to make me some new stuff. Different Q than my I have my own Q. My Q is different than Tommy's, than my dad's Q. Positivity is definitely what I need. And honestly, social interaction, regardless of if they're my people or not, is good. It's good for me. So I'm glad I went. Really glad I went. It was hard until I got there and then it was easy. You know what I mean? Two Qs. Yeah, my buddy Quentin does a lot of things. He's a man of many hats, but he builds. We have a lot of people in the crew that builds toys, props. But I want to commission a very specific set that I think Q would do really well. Do I watch UFC? I have. Spent a lot of time watching UFC, but I haven't watched anything recently. Did I miss something? Kim says I finessed the art of sticking one foot in one's mouth. I'm a pro at this. I practice. Work is done for the week. Let's go. Congratulations, Millie. You've made it one more week. One more week. Wonder if that's the tincture that's making my nose run. Well, running out of steam here, guys. What's new with y'all? You have any fun weekend plans? When you said nunchucks, I thought I'd ask. I wish they had nunchucks in the UFC. If I knew where they were, I'd go grab them right now. But I don't know where I put them. Hold on. Maybe they're right where they belong. Imagine that if they were where they're supposed to be. Negative. I cleaned up a bunch of stuff and now I don't know where those are. Son of a biscuit. I guess it doesn't really matter. No, but I'm quite the nunchucker, Kim. I have to say, I don't tend to toot my own horn, but I'm decent. I'm mad decent at the nunchucks. What's going on, Jeremy Fowler? Good morning, good sir. How are you? Good to see you. Well, I'll tell you what, check this out. Instead of just resting on my laurels here. All right, so we can do one of a couple things. What am I doing this weekend? Probably just staying here. My neighbor invited me to go airsofting again, and I told him I'd pass. I'm still recovering. Um, I would like to get some super glue so that let me get the pieces so I can show you. So I have here an Xbox 360 controller, and the bumpers. I took the bumpers off. I'm gonna lose this piece, and this thing is dirty. The reason I took the bumpers off is because one of them broke. I dropped it. These are the bumpers. Obviously, they go inside, not on top. But you'll notice there's this like little prong. On the other side, there's no prong. That's because it broke when, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but well, I have the prong here. I just need to super glue it back together so that I can play Elden Ring. My neighbor told me about this seamless multiplayer mod. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with Dark Souls or Elden Ring or any of the From Software games, Bloodborne, but there's a co-op mechanic where you can play with your friends, but it's like really, it's booty. It sucks. It's the worst. I mean, it sucks. It's not seamless, and it's a big pain in the butt. So someone came up with a mod that makes it not a pain in the butt. So I technically could be playing this really cool RPG with my neighbor. And I mean, I've got a bunch of friends that play. It's one of the games that we all get along on. So it would be really cool if I had a working controller. So I'm hoping to go get some super glue this weekend, fix that. I'm hoping that I feel passionate enough to play guitar and not be disappointed. But mostly, I'm planning on just staying here. I'm hoping to go RV shopping with my dad. Um, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Got snow in Maryland. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I forgot about the sectional staff, dude. Maybe I should get Q to make me a sectional. 200 hours to form a relationship, huh? Wow. That's some serious time. Moving the store to a new spot today. Busy, busy. Well, good luck, man. Don't work too hard. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that, but hey, man, I'm glad you're checking in. When I was a kid, Kim, I did karate. I wonder. I was probably 11 when I stopped, or 10, and I don't know why they gave a 10-year-old a brown belt, but they did. And technically, I earned it, but I don't know exactly what that means. My sensei told me that I had to be with the dojo for 5 years before I could uh, test for black, and that completely killed my momentum. I didn't want to go anymore after that. I think that I don't know. I don't know. I wonder about that a lot though. Like, am I actually a brown belt? Probably not. I wonder what the heck he was doing on a ladder in the dark. Sometimes I wonder things too. You know what I mean? Sometimes I wonder things too. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, we've only got 20 minutes. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't think it matters. But I tell you what, I would like to. Um, I would like to find my passion somewhere. I don't know exactly what that's going to entail. I don't really know exactly how to go about doing that. Because, for example, if I just pick up the guitar and start playing it, I don't necessarily think that that's going to spark, right, my inspiration, right? Usually, when I feel inspired, I'll hear something and I'll be like, oh, wow. But it's all based on what's going on in here. I could hear some inspiring stuff and not feel passionate or inspired, depending on where I'm at. So, how do we move our baseline? It's a good question, right? Oh, wow. How do we move our baseline? And is baseline even the right word, right? But how do I adjust my perspective in that context? I'm definitely usually pretty good at shifting my perspective and whatnot. But, when it comes to, it might not be that simple, right? It might be simply that I don't have the proper brain juices, right? It might be simply that the proper chemicals are not flowing in my brain, right? In fact, we know that my reward system is heavily damaged, right, from my addiction, from my abuse of substances. What's my favorite thing to do when not at work? Probably listen to music. I know that is sort of a cop out because you can listen to music while doing things. In fact, I listen to music at work, but I think my favorite thing, period, is listening to music. And they told me I wouldn't be able to listen to music while I did stuff all the time. Jokes on them. That's exactly how I live my life. Listening to music right now. You know what I mean? They told me I wouldn't have a calculator in my pocket all the time. I do. you know? So displays and trails, and I think I really enjoy playing video games a lot, but I find that to be the least productive hobby that I have. Um, In fact, if I allow myself to play too much, I will end up worse off as far as my mental state is, because then I'll feel guilty for wasting time, right? Starting a podcast doing reviews of music. Interesting. Interesting. That's an idea, that's for sure. I would definitely would love to be a radio DJ. That would be really cool. The thing with that is, I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess there isn't a thing with that. I've talked to my dad about this in the past. I would not be mad about that at all. I wonder what the proper way to go about getting into something like that would be. I think it's only a waste of time when my house is dirty, right? Or when like there are other things that I could have been doing. And the amount of time that I have to spend playing when there's nothing else to do is so astronomically like low. I'm usually using video games to procrastinate from things that I need to be doing. That's why. That's the cliff notes there. What do you mean by this, Kim? Go and do an information interview and offering help? You mean like go to the radio station and interview them about what it would take? Do you work at a radio station? Interesting. That is quite an idea. I wonder what kind of local radio stations we have out here. Have to look into it. And then there's also satellite radio. There's all kinds of radio. I wonder what a uh, radio station host gets paid. I used to listen to Rude Jude on Sirius XM Shade 45 when I had satellite radio in my grandpa's car back in the day. And I have to say, they had some of the most ridiculous and offensive segments, but always had me laughing. Spanx, every time you sip your coffee, I'm taking a few drops of tincture. Lol. I will tell you, Dale. I think that this is your intention, but just to be sure, you're definitely doing more tincture than I am. Just so we're clear, I put a couple drops in the whole cup. You know what I mean? So do your thing. I support you, but you're not keeping up with me. You're leaving me in the dust, which is also cool, which is totally fine. That's our general. That's our normal. That's pretty much how we do things. You just much more of a tolerance than I. We'll get there, or maybe we won't. I don't know. I'm open to it. No, I used to teach people resume building, and I used to help women interview women job interview. Word, cool. I appreciate your help, Kim. I appreciate you offering that. Once I get in the interview chair, I'm a killer. Once I get in the interview chair, I pretty much have the job. But radio is something I've never interviewed for before. Something I don't know much about. So maybe I will take you up on that. It's definitely something that's outside of my comfort zone. Chow Yun used to do radio. Okay, okay. I'm sure that she'd be happy to talk to me about that as well. There's no reason for me to do that though. So check this out. Check this out. I'm struggling with all this spicy stuff in me. Check this out. So, going to work for a radio station is a really cool job, right? Like in our mind's eye, I'm the guy on the radio saying all the stuff and I hit the buttons and the sounds play and then I play the song, right? And then I'm taking calls and I'm doing the radio station host thing. It's really cool. So, I can do that here on YouTube. And then I don't have to answer to anybody. I'll probably get paid more if I'm successful at doing it because advertising revenue is decent, right? I'm not getting paid a ton on the lifeboat because I'm not madly successful. Now, if we're measuring success by financial, right? As far as I'm concerned, I'm wildly successful on YouTube, right? I've set out with a goal and I'm accomplishing that goal every time I hit live. You guys are here. We're talking about recovery. We're bettering ourselves and each other, right? We're bettering our lives. That is my goal. As far as I'm concerned, smashing success. But as far as like leveraging like a job or a career, right? That's what we're talking about, the radio show host thing. I could do all of that stuff and not have a boss from here. And it'll look a little different, right? But I could review music. We could listen to music. There's all kinds of ways that we could do it. So radio stations play music and then they pay royalties out, right? to the people that own the rights to the music. We can do that from YouTube. If we're, you know what I mean, if we're bringing in advertising revenue, we can funnel some of that into like royalties for songs, and then we could actually play music on here and not lose the ads, right? So like it's definitely way above my pay grade and outside of my comfort zone, but with YouTube, with the internet, with the way that streaming and stuff has become streamlined, um, I think it would be a really cool idea and a cool thing to go work for a radio station. But at the end of the day, I think having a boss would really suck. So I don't know. It's something I'm willing to look into. And maybe I go and learn a bunch of stuff and then I take it and do it myself, right? That's probably the proper path, right? I go, I work for them, even if it's an unpaid internship. Like, who cares? Like, let me touch the buttons. Let me learn the things, right? Let me do the show, right? And then I can take all of that knowledge and do it myself. Now we're on to something. I was wondering what we were going to do with the end of this episode, and now we're doing it, and I'm pretty stoked that we are. I think I'm going to get a list together of radio stations local or radio stations that I could remote with together. Like, I think that's my first thing. I'll get a list of them together. Um, Maybe I'll call like one of them. I don't want to like ruin my first impression by not being prepared, but I feel like I totally have a plan though. You're right. Thank you for bringing this up, Kim. I am going to reach out to these people. I'm going to compile a list of radio stations that I'd be interested in. I'm going to talk to one of them, maybe two of them, and kind of use those interactions as a baseline to move forward. And if I need to adjust, if I need to practice, if I need to up my knowledge before going through the whole list, I will. But I think that that's a good idea. Spanx, when are you going back on RuneScape? I've been playing RuneScape. I just haven't been streaming it because something about streaming it makes me feel lesser. And that's my own mind. That's my own crazy self-deprecating thoughts, right? Um, but back to like, I usually play video games when I should be doing other things. If I'm streaming RuneScape, everybody's watching me play video games. And I don't mean not everyone, right? But anyone could see that I'm playing games instead of doing what I should be doing. And I don't know. There's like it's a mind warp. It's really difficult for me to wrap my brain around playing video games and streaming it and being like happy about it, which I think is the craziest thing. Like it should make me the most happy, right? I would like to get back on though. Maybe when we maybe when we fire Calhoun's corner back up, that'll be one of the things we do on day one. And again, the reason I haven't been on Calhoun's corner is because I haven't been feeling very well. I've been debating doing my own podcast, but I don't like being on screen. There is a YouTuber that I used to watch a fair bit of that plays games. He plays a first person shooter video game that's on the computer. And instead of having his face, he has the camera like right here pointing this way so it can see his mouse hand and his keyboard hand. So like there's a mic, you can hear his voice, you can see his hands, but you never see his face. And I know that you probably won't be playing video games, but you can set it up to where you don't show your face with the camera, right? You can also set it up without the camera entirely, right? Just have an avatar, but there's a billion ways to go about it where you totally don't have to show your face on screen. And I'd be willing to help you with that if you want. I have not checked out Wizard 101 yet, but I feel like it sounds so familiar. I feel like I know what this game is. I just am not 100% familiar with it. Create your own wizard. Oh my, it's already got me in. That looks a lot like RuneScape, dude. I feel like this game has powerful nostalgia value for those that were into it back in the day. You know what I mean? It 90% of like the reason I enjoy playing RuneScape is because it's that nostalgia value. I'm like accomplishing things that I never thought that I would because of the nature of the game. Like for example, what did I do yesterday? I did something monumental yesterday. What did I do? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know. I recently did a bunch of quests that I never thought that I would do though. Like there's a quest called Regicide, which that word means to kill a king, king killer, um, as opposed to fratricide, which would be killing your brother, which the quest involved both. But you have to do that quest in order to wield this like dragon halberd. It's like super cool weapon. I finally did that the other day. And then there was something else that I did that I have never, ever, ever done. It was really cool. I can't remember now. I've been trying to get the quest cape. In that game, in RuneScape, when you reach milestones, when you max out a stat, for example, you can only go to 99. They'll give you a cape with like the skill symbol on the back of it, and it gives you some unique stats and some unique like teleports, and it'll allow you to play like a unique animation so you can flex your 99 stat. But there's also a cape for quests. If you do all the quests, you get a quest cape. So right now, that's what I'm working on. I've got about, I want to say like 40 or 50 quests left out of 320. I don't know exactly. There's a right around 300 quests, and I've done almost all of them. Kim, I don't think that I want to do this. I don't think that I want help with the interview. In fact, that makes me really uncomfortable. I just want to be clear and set clear intentions because I think that that's important. I fully intend to compile a list of radio stations and like explore this, but I definitely I don't think that I want help doing it. I I don't know why I feel uncomfortable saying that. Uh, but yeah, I need to be clear with my intentions. I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'm sort of a lone wolf these days. Sort of a lone wolf these days, for better or for worse. And I don't necessarily know why that is, but that's what my spirit calls for. That being said, we're getting pretty close to the end of this episode here. Hey, Arwa, I don't think I said hello to you for some reason, but it's really good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right, guys. Please hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It makes a huge difference. Um, Thank you for all being here. Shout out to the mods, the crew, anyone new. Um, you guys are the best. I love you guys. Now remember, I think I gave you homework earlier, didn't I? Oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day. And be your own Valentine today. If you don't have a Valentine, I want you to treat yourself real, real nice. And I know that this is the homework that I give a lot of the time. It is just as important today as it always is. Because you are numero uno, right? You're number one. And no one's going to take care of you if you don't take care of you, right? And no one can quite love you like you can love you, all right? So get out there and do it. Well, I mean, maybe just sit right where you're at and do it, right? Put your feet up and leave them there, whatever it takes, whatever it entails. You know better than anybody what you like. So please enjoy yourself today. This has been the Lifeboat with Captain Calhoun. A little morning Calhoun with recovery, huh? Morning recovery with Calhoun. I'm gonna see you guys probably tomorrow. I would like to get back into the Calhoun thing, but I'm not gonna, or the Calhoun's Corner thing, but I'm not gonna do so before I feel 100. And you don't want to go on there and put up crap, if you know what I mean. So love you guys a bunch. All right, peace.